Hello, everybody. Welcome to Desks and Dorks, your favorite board game design and creation podcast that, as always, is shaped by you, bringing you the best in indie tabletop gaming. I'm Riley, the desk to Kyle's dork, and today we're going to be showing you our first ever released official After the Rain playthrough. After the Rain is our one-shot role-playing game where you get to build your character up by losing what makes you, you. So today you're going to be able to listen in from character creation all the way through to the end of a game. It is a little bit of a long episode. The playthrough itself is just over 2 hours long. So definitely with the joy of most podcasting and YouTube sites that allow you to kind of pause it and then go back to it and resume, don't feel ashamed to have to utilize those features. I understand it is a lot longer than our traditional episode, but we wanted to show this to you. And if you're interested, if you go to our desksanddorks.org, click on the After the Rain tab, you can sign up with your email to get notified as we get closer to our Kickstarter launch date in early 2022. And of course, if you keep us followed on all of your favorite social media site, Instagram.com/desksanddorks, @desksanddorks on Twitter, Facebook.com/desksanddorks, or just looking us up or clicking the social media tab on the website. You'll be able to keep an ear out for all of our new updates and progress as we go and get closer to the release date, as well as, of course, when we relink all of the reviews and previews that we are going to be getting very shortly. Without further ado, today's episode is going to be myself, the desk, Kyle, the dork, and we are joined by our guests, Hannah and Kollin. So we appreciate you guys listening in, and we hope you like the game. We look forward to being able to share this with you guys.
Before we do anything else, I have our goal today is that we have to bring down our dreaded rival, whose name is John Thompson, John, Tom, JT, or Boss Reaper. Basically, he is the city judge. He is the judge for River City, which is a city on the edge of what will become the Dust Bowl, or is already swiftly becoming the Dust Bowl, during the early 1920s in the heights of Prohibition. He is, in addition to being the city's judge, he's also its jury and executioner. He runs an illicit empire from behind the scenes, so everything that includes gambling, prostitution, alcohol smuggling, murder, gun sales, all of it. Everybody is in his pocket. Everybody is his, basically. He runs the place as his own personal fiefdom. He's basically like a king in this town. If he wants it, he gets it. And that's it. That is the only way that things work in River City. He's wronged a lot of people, and he also happens to have wronged us, our characters, the four of our characters, who I will let them introduce themselves now. Riley, are you okay if we start with you?
I feel like I should go last since we have people that have played before. That way I can see what I would need to shift or whatever, just because traditionally, that way you can get a better idea what's going on.
That's true. I guess that's true. What's up, Hannah?
That's what we did for me and then for Lilia, so I think
that's true. That is what we do with Lilia. I'm giving Riley the benefit of the doubt because he's a seasoned role-playing veteran.
I'll go then, and you can tell me how this fits in with After the Rain.
All right, I love it.
So do I need to give you my numbers that I rolled in conjunction with these?
Generally speaking, no, but yes for the Zoom, just because I'm going to have it up so people can see like what their characters look like, how their characters operate. And so they'll have a snapshot of your character.
And then just to clarify that I was correct in this, and the one thing I realized I did not make is a connection because I don't know the other characters.
Well, I did not make a connection either. I figured we would discuss that after.
Okay, good. I have the 3 numbers for my 3 facets, and then I have a 4th number that I use for, you said, other
nothing.
Thing.
Yep, that's the dice that you'll use for. So in the game when we make this, and Hannah uses her graphic design wonderkind abilities, it'll be like an index size card character sheet, and there's actually going to be 3 spots for dice. So you'll actually plug the dice in that little square next to where you would write the facet in.
I know they start to drop.
Right, whether it's a dry erase marker or just like a regular index card, and then those will drop down. So, but yes, 3 numbers and a connection. All right, so what is your first facet?
All right, so my first facet is a 5. Profession, shine stiller.
Oh, I love this already. Excellent. What is a shine stiller, sir, for the recording?
Well, it's a person who distills the shine, sir.
Ah.
I know, it's really hard to
so you are
pull that from.
Excellent.
All right, so my second facet is a 2. So I've kind of gone past it a little bit. So it's not as much a pillar as it was at once in my life. It's traumatic past.
Ooh.
A lit cigarette once blew up my first still shack. So I do have a bit of an aversion to fire. If that fits within your themes.
It absolutely does. Oh my god.
It's a 2. It's not as bad as it could be.
I know, but just like, it's just, I love that. I love that. Okay.
And then this is where it starts to get a little more generic. But when you show the Stein in the 20s, obviously you're addicted to shine with a 4.
So am I.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if this is good or bad.
No, are we all gonna be alcoholics? Are you an alcoholic too, Kollin?
Yep.
Good.
Absinthe is my poison, but yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Is this but is that about like character creation?
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's it.
What's your name? What's your name?
Yeah, does your character have a name, or are we just calling you Riley?
Oh no. I'm offended.
I have to ask.
Sal Wilson Kenton.
Ooh.
We all gonna have 3 names also? I
hope so.
This is why I was so excited for the 2 of you guys to like play in a role-playing game setting together, because you're both so similar in how you do it. I was so ready. I was so ready.
You haven't even seen me play an RPG, really.
Oh,
have you?
Have we? No, we have.
No,
maybe we haven't. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm guessing. I don't know. I thought
when Frosthaven arrives, we all gotta play Frosthaven.
Yes.
I mean, I'm down.
Yes, we do. Hannah, I'm also missing the fact that I can't be here to like experience your eye rolls in person.
Do we need to take off the glasses so you can still see them and there's no reflections in the way?
No, it's okay. I won't. I'm not going to expose your eyes to blue light. All right. Sal Wilson Kenton is the most Kentucky Fried hooch brewer name ever, and I'm so here for it. All right, Kollin, what's your? All right, Kollin, what is your character's name?
My name is Professor Eugene Bates Hoover.
I love everything about this. Okay.
All right, so my first facet is my profession. I am a pneumatic scientist.
Oh my god.
Who specializes...
Oh man, I can't wait.
I specialize in vacuums. This is all I looked all this shit up because I wanted to make it realistic to the 1900s. That's at a 6.
Oh my god, dude, you're literally Professor Vacuum, man.
My second facet is a charge to my son, whose name is William Henry Hoover, who is actually the person who invented the vacuum in the 1920s.
That he was.
Oh my god.
So that he was.
Yes, dude.
And that's only at a 3.
Can we just appreciate that Avengers is not even close to the most ambitious crossover in human history now? Got a vacuum cleaner in here? Let's go.
My last facet is an irresistible urge to absinthe at a 4.
It's a solid number for an addiction to alcohol.
I am literally... I don't think I could be any more hype for this session. The heat behind this is nuclear now. I'm done. I'm deceased. All right, Hannah.
All right, so my character's name is Mildred Goodwin.
You guys have such good...
I googled 1920s like most popular female names and then common surnames.
Nice.
Be accurate, of course.
Obviously.
Mildred, bad fail. Good to know. Good to know.
My first facet is profession, which is I'm a speakeasy jazz singer,
Nice.
Oh.
and that's a 4.
This is coming together.
Transistor.
My next one is a traumatic past in the form of an alcoholic and abusive father, which is a 3.
So you're gonna fit in really well with the 3 alcoholic men in this game.
Well, pretty much my thought was like I wanted to get away from my dad, and so like I essentially went towards John because he like could get me out, and then he didn't get me out.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then my last facet is an irresistible urge to not drink. So I'm the exact opposite of like all you guys in that sense.
I love it. What's that set at?
That's also a 3.
Okay. Also a 3. All right. I'm gonna change, if everyone's okay with it, I'm gonna change my addiction to hooch. Because everyone has it, and I actually thought of something that like I think is actually better. So my name is, I am Major Edward Keeney.
Majo Edward Keeney, eh?
Majo. I'm a Majo player.
That's only 2 names, sir.
Yes, it is.
I didn't
have 3.
club.
I didn't have 3. I'm Major Edward Keeney. I am a retired World War I medic who literally just came to this town to seek oblivion because it was way, way better than anything else that I could have seen or experienced in World War I. I am going to keep it at addiction, but it is not going to be towards, and maybe this could be a brand new facet actually now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a cause at 6. At its pacifism. I am a pacifist, not only because I swore the Hippocratic Oath, but because I saw some. We'll leave it at that.
All right, is it Keeney or Kenny?
Keeney.
Okay, and it's just spelled with 2 N's.
Yes, because Irish people.
That's fair.
I have a charge. I also have a daughter who is not with me currently. She is staying with her mother and her mother's parents in Boston. And I have a psychological condition. I have a psychosomatic limp. They took shrapnel out of my right leg, and although the muscles made a full recovery and I am okay, that pain is squarely in my mind. And
John Watson from Sherlock.
Kind of, in that respect, yes.
He was also an army medic.
He was. Not based off John Watson, though. John Watson, not a pacifist. I've watched John Watson straight up ice a mother several times in that show. John Watson is not a pacifist. Especially, I figure that'd be kind of cool because, like, especially in the 1920s, like, no one knows or understands how any psychological or mental illness works. And so I have actually, I was kind of unable to get. Well, we'll play into that. We'll see it later. All right. That's Major Edward Keeney. All right. So now we'll rock out with some connections, and I'm just gonna bump you down to the second page. That way, we're not cutting you off, your character sheet off. So if we need to pull up anyone's character sheet, just let me know. I have yours and mine are on the second page, and then Kollin and Riley's are on the first. We'll go back to Riley. Riley, who do you want to have your connection with?
This one I kind of want to go last on, if you don't mind, with the way connections work now.
Nope. I do not at all. Kollin, did you want to go, or do you want me to start?
Can you remind me can you scroll down so I can see everybody's?
Yep.
Can you put the 4 of us on one page or not efficiently?
I can. Yeah, I would just have to make it a little smaller. I gave us a little more space and size just for readability, especially on the Zoom screen.
That's fair.
That's okay. That's all right. Can you scroll down to the?
But what I might be able to do, hold the phone here. What I could do is I could copy paste these to you guys in chat.
That would work too.
And then that way you all have access to those.
That's a great idea.
Those are in the chat. So you can copy and paste them into a Word doc, or you can just look at them on the chat. It is up to you.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking is that, Kyle, you and I have a connection in that. How old is your daughter?
I was actually going to say we do have a connection, but that wasn't the angle I was going to approach it on. We'll say that she is 8.
Okay, I was going to say our kids could maybe go to school together and we could be connected in that way. What were you thinking?
She's 8 and she's in Boston, so maybe if your kid is
Also in Boston.
staying elsewhere, that's not River City.
He's in Ohio.
So I was thinking, since it is very hard to find work as a conscientious objector, and it is especially hard to find work as somebody who is it has that psychological condition. I was actually saying that maybe I work at the university, maybe you got me a job as a janitor at the university that you work at.
I think I love that idea, and maybe if you want to use that as your connection, I would like to make mine with Mildred Goodwin and have me be friends with her father from the past.
Okay.
Ooh.
Getting deep. Real deep.
Does Mildred know that you were friends with her dad?
I don't know. Hannah, how do you feel about that?
I feel like if I knew you were friends with my dad, I wouldn't have gone to John and be working at a speakeasy. So we'll say that's a mystery right now.
Okay.
I don't know.
So then so then Eugene Bates is a little considerably older than.
He's an old dude.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
I can go next.
Yeah.
Okay.
So say, Riley, we could have a connection. If you are the Shine Stiller.
That's my thought. It was you and I have literally the easiest, but we obviously can't double connect. But if you want to connect with me, I can connect and loop around with
Yeah, I would just say
the major.
Do you? I don't know exactly what your business is, but whenever you come to the speakeasy, or whenever I come to work in the evening, you're there, you're the one that lets me in or whatever.
I assume I'm there quite often delivering the shine. If it's depending on if it's who it's ran by and how it goes, I would imagine that I'm there quite often. And I'm also imbibing while I'm there. I mean, I'm again not a sober man.
Really good friends then, since you're always there and I'm also always there.
Yeah, I mean, essentially the workers that know each other quite well works for me. Which would mean that my connection then to literally fully loop us around would be with the major, correct?
If you would like to.
If we wanted to loop it around, which I think is always a good call.
I still have yet to make my connection, but yes.
Oh, I thought your connection was with. Oh, your connection's not with Colin.
I mean, I actually kind of think. Are you okay with me doing that, Colin? With
Yeah.
Eugene getting me my job.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that was already established because he had said about that's a good idea, but I want my connection to be this.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
So I assume my connection would have to somehow be with you. Obviously, I am a bit
does not.
younger.
You can choose your connection however you'd like it. So
interesting.
Not everyone needs their connection. At least that's not how I've written in the rules right now.
Because at least one person has to connect with someone else, right?
Yes. Yes.
In a way, right now, all 4 of us are connected. I can connect with one of the others. Technically, I could reconnect. Well, except I guess I could reconnect just with Mildred.
Correct? Yeah, if you wanted to, or with me, or with Eugene. If there's another connect. It's up to you.
Since you pulled the hooch away, it makes it harder for me to connect with you realistically. Honestly, even though I'm a Shine Stiller, it would make sense to be with Eugene potentially, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it's with Mildred for right now for easy roleplay.
I mean, I'm a medic too, so I could potentially patch up any of your boys or your Shine runners.
You know what? That's actually, there you go. Let's make the loop then. That would be why, because as the owner of a distillery and a runner of a distillery, that doesn't mean I don't have a bunch of 12-year-old boys running Shine for me.
Yeah.
And every now and then there's some shots fired.
Yep. Not from Edward.
I would hope not.
No, not from Edward. Maybe at Edward.
I'd imagine so.
So the way that this game works, obviously, Riley, is this game is going to play out in 3 acts. Act 1, every single one of us is going to have a scene. It could take place at the same. We're all going to start in the same location that we're in, which I think we all okay with starting at the Silver Tongue?
Yeah.
I think that makes the absolute most sense. So every one of us is going to have a scene, Riley. It is up to you where you'd like that scene to take place, who you would like that scene to take place with. You can have it with one character, multiple characters, every character. You also have the option of having it just with the NPCs if you want, but that's a crappy option, so maybe I'll cut it. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I think that's a good one for player count, but not for this player count.
Right. So that's going to be Act 1. Act 2 is a montage. So legitimately, you'll have 1 minute to say what your character is doing. There's always a complication in Act 2. So obviously our plan is we need to get John Thompson. We have to kill John Thompson or get John Thompson or bring him to justice, whatever that looks like. So in Act 1 is going to be us working to establish that plan. Act 2 is literally going to be that complication arising that there's a monkey wrench in the plan. And then Act 3 is going to be us attempting to make the goal happen for us. Sometimes it works. Like in our first session, we managed to escape the impending flood, which was great. In our second session, it absolutely did not work. And everyone either wound up dead or broken without getting a bag full of tainted money and drugs. So obviously the success of the goal is not the purpose of the game. It is us just attempting to get there. So John Thompson could make it out alive. Who knows?
Is it weird that I liked the ending of the second session better than the first?
No, I thought the ending was
I think a game
brilliant.
that is enjoyable if you fail is great.
I thought the ending was brilliant. I just thought that the other 90% was not nearly as good as the first game.
Completely agree. The first game was more fun all the way through, but the second game, I just loved the way it ended.
Yeah, it was just everyone was bloodied, broken, like mentally destroyed. Like it was just brutal. It was very Southern Gothic.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, I think I'm trying to think of anything else. You also probably want to cook up some way in which John Thompson has wronged you. That would kind of bring us together to defeat him. That is our main goal. So that's not listed in the rules or anything, but it is listed with that goal or in that goal section, is that obviously this is somebody who has wronged us in a pretty major way. And then on top of that, the rain has sort of presented us with an opportunity that would not only give us a chance to wreak unholy revenge on this person, but makes us willing to risk our very selves in the effort. So with that being said, I'm going to set the scene for us, and then we are going to be ready to go. So the year is 1920. We find ourselves in River City, a small but bustling metropolis on the edge of what is steadily becoming an untenable area of agriculture. Folks are complaining about dustier terrain, harder to grow crops, and things that you plant in the earth alive and pull out of the earth a matter of weeks later dead. There is a sense of impending doom in the air about that. And all of that has been complicated by a freak series of rainstorms that seem to literally just be focused on the River City area and its surrounding suburbs. Those of you who have been driving around town and going about your daily lives have noticed that people who spend a little too much time in this rain go just a tad bit kooky. And despite all of those things, you have tried your best to go on with life as usual in the shadow of John Thompson, this town's judge. You find yourselves at the Silver Tongue, which is a speakeasy that is actually, unbeknownst to John Thompson, operated literally right underneath his nose in the city's old catacombs, and literally underneath his courthouse. You guys find yourselves there. It is a Friday night, about 11:30 p.m., and you find yourselves in the courthouse making your plans. So we're going to establish, that is our scene that is established. Despite it being 11:30 on a Friday, it's almost relatively dead, and you're not sure if it's just people are like trying their best to stay out of this crazy rainfall, or if it's just, I don't know, John Thompson's opened up a couple speakeasies and a few cat houses on some other sections of the city pretty recently, so you're not sure if there's like new clientele that is, or not new clientele, but new competition taking away from it. But you find yourselves there. The lights are low. The jazz band is slowly kind of playing on a piano and some cellos. And the radio is tuned into a government broadcast. You can hear an old-timey voice going like this through the static. The federal government is warning everyone to stay out of the rain. The U.S. Surgeon General says that it's harmful for your mental health and well-being. Reports of victims of this strange water phenomenon have reported long-term amnesia, memory loss, and even, in some states, states of catatonia or coma. I repeat, the U.S. Surgeon General suggests that if you or your loved ones are in any area exposed by the rain, you should remain. At that point, it just kind of snaps back to coverage of a baseball game in New York. All right, who would like to have their first scene? Or I guess, so who would like to go first? Actually, traditionally speaking, it starts with the oldest player, so I guess that's me.
You actually have a youngest player written in there.
I have youngest player written, which is Hannah Potts.
I'm not telling you should go youngest. I'm just telling you for the
record. Who does not want to go first?
Every time.
I'm going first. I need to build off other people. This is only my 4th time ever role playing.
I know. So I'll go first. It's fine.
I would say that for the role, by the way, maybe it should be, and I don't want this to be like a negative, but it should be the most experienced role player. Because realistically, that's one of the more, points.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't mind that change at all.
Which I don't know between you, Kollin, and I, which one of us that counts as, but I'm going to let you go because you know this game better than I. Well,
Kyle's certainly more experienced than I am.
That's true, but it is my game, so I guess, you know what, we'll do it. All right, so the 4 of us have been actually kind of gathered into one of these back rooms. We're not in the back rooms. No, forget that. No. Never mind. I take that back. It's hard to play and DM at the same time. I will say, so are all of you guys at the bar right now? Okay. Yep. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So
I'm at a moderate level of unsober.
Okay. And then is Mildred working right now currently?
Yeah, I probably should be. That's my job to sing in the
bar.
Right.
Well, if it's quiet, if they're just playing piano, I assume you could be standing at the bar getting yourself a cup of water.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, let me be getting a drink break of non-giggle water.
No giggle juice. No giggle juice here.
I just looked up a bunch of 1920 slang, so I will be using these. Gil means cash.
Yes. Happy cabbage is actually money that you spend on yourself. Fun fact.
It's clams, mazuma, voot, and kale. All mean money.
Hell.
And then cash. Cash means to kiss.
I love it.
Love it.
I've also heard simoleons as well. 500 simoleons. All right. So Eugene is going to stumble into the bar. Not Eugene, sorry. Edward is going to stumble into the bar, not because he is drunk, but because he is wobbling on his cane and the bottoms of his leather patent shoes are a little bit slick on the marble floor. I'm going to have my scene with. Can I have my scene with the gentleman? I'm gonna have my scene with both Eugene and Sal, if that's okay with you guys.
Me,
it's fine with me. If it's okay with him.
Sweet. I'm gonna say. So, are you guys sitting together or sitting separately? You guys wouldn't really know each other, would you?
Yeah, I think we'd be sitting separately. We don't have any connection.
Right. I mean, at this point, it's 11:30. It's slow, so I assume this would be the perfect time for me to be funneling things in to the bar, kind of.
That's true.
Secretly. So I'd assume that I'm nearby, kind of running back and forth behind the bar, so right within hearing distance, right within chatting distance, right within being chatted to.
Well, I'm gonna do the one thing that I know that both of your characters would do, since you both have a connection with me. So Edward starts, walking his way to the bar. making his way to it, clearly wobbling and having a hard time. And then my cane absolutely just gives out, and Edward just unceremoniously topples, loud enough and hard enough that both of you would be able to turn around and see it.
I turn around and see it, and even drunkenly, I stumble over to you and reach out a hand, although the hand is kind of moving back and forth because I'm myself am not stable, and I say to you, Major, let me help you up. You seem to have fallen.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I'd hate to be a bother, and I'm like holding on to you, and my leg gives out again.
At this point, I'm gonna walk up, and I'm literally, like, I'm not gonna say that I'm like built, but I've been running Shine for a while. I know how to carry things, so I kind of like walk over and kind of like help support you both, like the under the arm carry, if you know what I mean. Where
yes.
Under the left arm of one and right arm of the other, and you just pop them up right under the shoulders.
Absolutely, Mr. Kenton. Ever so grateful for your assistance, as always.
God, I made myself Italian with one voice I can't do. Of course.
Jersey Italian.
What was that?
I said he could make himself New Jersey Italian.
Of course.
What are you talking about?
Hey. Yeah. Apologies.
Tires on your car. I got you.
Mr. Kenton, could you pause for a moment? I reach down, like, it's like hard because you're like grabbing my upper torso, but I reach down and I manage to fish my cane off the floor. Perhaps a booth of some kind would be advantageous. There's one right.
Sorry, I've got no pull here, but let me see if I can wrangle us up a booth.
The bartender looks at him and just like, there's like literally like 19 booths open. And he just kind of shrugs and goes, and nods.
Eugene goes to the booth that, of the 19, only one is seated of the 20, and he goes to the one booth that has people in it and says, excuse me, but we are in need of this booth, and, well, my friend here, you see, he's got some kind of limp, and he needs the booth, so if you wouldn't mind moving, we're going to have very serious discussions here.
The individuals who are seated at this booth are, like, soaking wet. And they're kind of like staring off into space, like, huh? Booth? Oh,
I think we're fine. I think we'll just go to the next booth over. You, sir. I appreciate it though, and I'm gonna kind of like I still kind of have one arm underneath Kenny to kind of over right next to him. Of course, we're not super far apart. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, no, it's good. The man sitting at the booth rubs his temples, and you can hear him muttering to himself, "Why? Where am I? Why did I come here?" Mr. Kenton, there's truly no need for you to carry me in such a gruff manner. I believe I've managed to find myself. I balance myself on one arm on your shoulder, and then I've kind of managed to get myself in the cane. I can hobble the last couple steps over to the booth where I sort of collapse. Thank you both, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Doctor, I didn't expect to see you out of the university.
Yes, well, Kenny, this is a place of my true desires. And he takes another sip out of his bottle of green liquid, which is quite clearly absinthe, and he's kind of tripping and having an episode. And he just starts spouting off random about vacuum cleaners and well, you see, they've been using a single suction when they could be using a double suction. There's this new thing called the positive agitation system, and the way that they use it here at the Regina Company.
Dr. Hoover, perhaps you'd like to sit. I actually pull out a pair of reading glasses and I fetch a little fountain pen out of my pocket. I slide him my personal diary. Sketch some notes with us, perhaps.
Oh,
the comfort
yes.
of a booth.
Well, you're doing that. I'm going to kind of step away back behind the bar to go grab 3 bottles.
Mr. Kenton, please, allow me to pay for those.
They're mine. They're yours now. So I give one to each, even though I know, or I might not know actually, what he prefers. I know he's drinking absinthe, but I'm still going to sit a shine bottle in front of the formerly unannounced Hoover.
Apologies. My manners, Mr. Kenton. This is Dr. Hoover. Dr. Hoover is one of the country's foremost experts on pneumatic vacuums and suction.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. I extend a hand, and it's, again, kind of like swaying back and forth as he tries to shake your hand.
I'm going to grab it kind of firmly and kind of keep it in place as I shake it to give the illusion of you trying to shake properly. And then
I'm going to get my reading glasses out of my pocket and sort of like put the little round spectacles. They sort of sit on the arch of Edward's nose while he introduces everybody. And Dr. Hoover, allow me to introduce Mr. Kenton. He's in many ways you could consider him a bit of an adjunct professor of chemistry.
Oh, another learned person. I appreciate it. Mr. Kenton, are you aware of one Mr. John Thompson? This man has disheveled my patents in ways that you can only imagine. He has a sort of stranglehold on this town that can only be described as, tight. So let me ask you, do you know this Mr. Thompson? I am looking for somebody to help me to, let's say, dissuade him from making my patents less prescribable.
I shoot Kenton a look. Just out of curiosity, so Riley, for our characters, I'm just looking about our shared connection. Can our reason for bringing John Thompson down be the same?
I presume it's similar. I mean, the reason he has wronged me would be something to do with the fact that it would have to be liquor sales.
Well, what I was thinking is, so you were talking about employing some of your boys, like these kids, to do it. Mm-hmm. Could it be possible that some of our kids got caught up in one of Thompson's raids and he killed a couple of these kids?
That would be something that would purely anger me.
Yeah, especially yes, me as well. So are you? I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to. But I think having a shared.
I'm fine with that. I assume. Yeah, I would say that works perfectly fine.
All right, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot Kenton a real dark look, like.
And then I'm just going to respond just purely, simply, just. The Reaper's known. He's known to me. He's done a lot of reaping.
At this point, like my hand's trying to start shaking, and like you guys can see that I'm like grasping at the leg where the shrapnel was.
I'm gonna kind of push your drink back closer to you.
Slug it down.
Yep.
A known quantity. Dr. Hoover, you're a man of science. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, that's just ducky.
Well, it is. And I know that the medical science is not your particularity, but riddle me this, doctor. If a perfectly healthy patient has a tumor, at this point I'm fishing like a hand-rolled cigarette out of my pocket and lighting it. If
I'm
a patient
a little bit while you're doing that, just nothing verbal.
If a patient has a tumor, is it not the responsibility of the medical community to rid the healthy body of the malignant growth?
Well, yes, it would be up to code for that doctor to make that tumor, let's say, gone. Hotsy-totsy, as it were.
Good. Then let's say that our apologies, I don't want to speak for Mr. Kenton. My opinion of Mr. Thompson is the same as the opinion of a tumor. A growth that needs to be removed. I'm going to end my scene there if we're all cool with it.
That's fine with me.
I'm going to drop my pacifism to a 5.
Because now you have to drop something after.
Yes.
Scene,
yes,
correct?
You have to. So I was exposed to the rain coming in. So at some point, like during your scene, you need to be exposed to that rain. It could be out when you're like going out to your truck, Riley, if you were going to go grab
exactly.
whatever. But and like
It's
you
one of
like
the reasons I set that up, because I remember reading about
Yep.
needing the exposure.
Yep. All right, so that is going to be my scene, which does a pretty good job of establishing us. I'll be honest, I had plans for a couple different things, like kind of push us in John Thompson's direction, but that worked out.
That worked very well.
That worked perfect. Whatever.
Wasn't like
I'm
an
all,
eccentric old man to lead you in the right direction.
hey, and it makes sense that John Thompson would like deep six anything that isn't like his. So I'm all for it. All right, that is me. That is my scene.
So now, how does the next scene go? And that's
So-
something that, like, I know in your rulebook it mentions who goes first.
So the next scene works just like my scene does. So whoever the next oldest person is, which I believe is Riley, you and Connor
How
are
old are
scene.
you?
I was gonna say I'd be willing to go.
You can go next. I was going to say, if I go next, I will be incorporating you, but I'm okay with you going next as
Yeah.
well.
So this scene works literally just like my scene does. So all of us are going to get that scene to sort of establish that motivation, start making those plans.
Yeah,
And that,
Riley, if you're comfortable to go next, like go for it.
if you want to go, it's all you, but if not, I can go. Or Colin, just to go off the rule book, how old are you?
26.
Oh, you are older than me then. Okay. So
So
it'd be Colin next.
if you guys have scenes planned, I'm, again, totally cool with that. If not, happy to go as well.
Man, too pacifistic for our own
Okay,
good.
I'll go.
All right.
Love it.
Riley, just for reference, did your character leave the table at the end of that conversation?
No, we are all still sitting at the
I'm
we are
still
all
at the
sitting
table, but I am sitting at an easy access pop-out point. Like, if that makes sense. Like, like when you're sitting on the edge of a booth and you're like, half of you is kind of hanging off.
Yes.
That's where I would be
Most
kind of at that
position
point.
in a booth, naturally. Okay, then I can go next. I'll choose my scene. I was gonna choose your character, Riley,
Mhm.
which is Sal.
Sal.
Sal Wilson Kitten. It's such an Italian first name, and the rest of it's so English.
Yeah.
Well, the thing you got to keep in mind, though, is Sal can be short for a lot of things.
Is it Salamander?
I was going to say Salaman, but okay.
Salmon. Mr. Salmon Wilson Kenton.
You know what?
I knew you.
Make
I
that
knew you
canon.
were fishy. I knew you were fishy from the beginning.
Make that canon.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why he goes by Sal. He's not Italian at all. Sal.
Great. Okay, so I'll.
Actually Gaelic as well.
Oh, Scottish accent. Let's go. Okay, Sal.
Let's go.
I guess I gotta get in character. Okay, so starting. I'm just gonna walk up to you.
And this
boys.
scene is just you and I, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to you guys and just like politely be like, "At the moment, I gotta steal Sal for a second," and like pull you just like 2 tables over, not very far at all, because I have no idea what you're doing.
By the way, Kenton is like, whoa, who the heck is this lady?
Kenton, or you mean Kinney?
Sorry, Kenny. I keep because your and my last names are so similar. That's okay. Yes, Kenny.
I was gonna
I
say
didn't know
you're
you.
Edward, and you keep calling yourself Eugene.
I know. We both picked E names and we both picked K names, which is just not good for my life.
In my
So,
defense, I made my name.
you did. You did.
Actually, I didn't make it first, maybe. I made my name as you said, "What is your name? Do you have a name?" And I'm like, oh, I'm hurt. I guess I have to make a name now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thus the reason it's Sal Wilson Kenton.
I love it.
All right, that works. So
All right, but Salmon will be coming with you.
Keeney is ogling me in a very respectful not old, but wounded manner, I guess.
And old.
He's
Yeah.
just not
not
used.
old, he's a
He's
kid.
just not used to any type of like attention or like words from anybody. So the fact that like a woman is speaking to him is flabbergasting at this point, frankly.
I'm going to kind of nod my asides and follow you.
Yeah, I said hello. I pulled you aside. We're a couple seats over, and I guess I'm gonna be like, oh gosh, I already okay. Yeah, mine was gonna be I was gonna pull in the dude that's like sitting the one other patron in this bar since he's dripping wet.
Yes.
I was gonna be like to Sal. I guess it's just like I have some concerns about our fellow patron over there. because he's either thinking, staring into space, or staring at me and mumbling. And I just feel very comfortable right now, which is weird to say when I work in a bar, but
Do I need to go have a chat?
let you be a.
Is
I don't know.
he?
I guess you could.
Has he done anything untoward, or is this just a concern as such? I know he seemed a little odd when our friend Hoover, I believe they said his name was, over there.
Yes, he hasn't done anything yet. Something about him doesn't feel right. Not that I have any. I'm in no position to judge, of course, but it's just he seems a little off. And at this point, I've been eyeing him very unsubtly, and he's pissed. And so he comes over, and I don't even he's behind your back, so I don't even see him at first. And he grabs you. I was thinking he pushes you aside a little bit, and he goes to shove me. So his very wet clothing and hands is grabbing at me, and I just kind of don't know what to do.
At that, I am, of course, the moment he goes to touch me, I am reacting. So obviously when I came with a bottle, as one does, because I'm not coming without a drink, even if I know, I'm respectful for you. So the first thing I'm doing is, if he's dragging me, it's going to be going right to the swing at the height of my head. I don't know where he is. He could be below, he could be at.
He's lurching towards you, so it looks like a grab.
Okay, then I'm definitely just slamming my mostly empty, thankfully, because that is not cheap, bottle in as close to the approximation of his head in a quick second that I could make.
Well, my thought was more he just took you by enough surprise that he's gotten past you and has grabbed me.
Okay, copy. Well, then that works then.
He came from behind you.
Okay, well then at that point the reaction is the same in a different manner.
Yeah.
But the weapon still flies.
All right.
I've gotten water.
But I guess I don't have a skill or a facet related to that, so I don't know.
I am a-okay with you taking a pot shot at a very, very addled man whose back is turned to you when you are 2 feet away.
Okay.
I feel like I'm not.
I don't like it when you word it like that, but okay.
Not to say that it's hitting the broadside of a barn, but it's hitting the broadside of a barn. So you would have hit square on where your target was. He actually stumbles, loses his grip on Mildred, and then you connect with his shoulder blade. He goes down.
Okay.
Sal, why'd you do that?
Why'd you do that?
You recognize him as one of your patrons, by the way. Just a pretty, not you, Mildred, but Sal does. Kind of like a put-upon family man who sort of kind of just churns through it pretty quick. I don't know. Sal, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm here. And he's trying to get up, and so he's grabbing at your pant leg, Mildred, getting it more wet. I don't remember anything. I remember you, Sal.
I'll let you react before I react, of course.
Yeah, I guess my thing would just be that's fine, hon. Here, and I go to grab a chair and so he can get up off grabbing me and my very nice silk performing pants. They're very high quality. They're very
seductive. A pants, not a dress in the 1920s? What is this?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I am risque. I am no Miss Gaudry. I'm no Debbie Downer.
No, you're Miss Goodwin.
I am. Well,
Miss
Gaudry is a term. I googled it. Like I said, it's a term for buttoned collared, pristine woman, very hoity-toity, no fun.
Yeah.
So none of that. And so I'm wearing some very nice performance pants. Don't get me wrong. They're loose. They're loose at the bottom, but still. And so I'm just him off.
Thank you for helping me up.
And I just back away a little bit and zone out for a second, looking at my pants because they're wet, and now I'm wet too.
Wait a minute! I think I know you too. You work here?
Yes,
No, you don't. You're one of John's gals.
I don't work for John anymore.
Oh, good. You're too pretty, too nice to be one of John's gals. Oh, the things he does.
I'm gonna stop it here. Sal, he's all yours, and I'm just gonna go.
No, wait.
No.
Wait. No, let me help you, please.
I don't. It's fine. I just was gonna.
No, there are still more girls, more nice girls, like you, kinda, with John. There's nobody can.
More. There are.
More. He's got him in a. Hands are shaking. Sal, you got any hooch? No.
I'll nod and run and grab a bottle.
Warm the blood.
It's getting extremely expensive for me this evening.
Really?
So I'm doing it very, very skeptically, but I'm still doing it because he is a known. I mean, he's a little put upon, but he's definitely a man of his word and a man of his wallet.
But you get like the cheapest bottle possible.
I mean, it's all the same. Listen, if you think I make grades, wow, oof, that almost hurts.
No,
I'll sell it to you for $1, but for you, it's 50 cents.
No,
That's what I got.
I'm just saying, like, you know how like there's like the trope of like you just still like vodka with like water, so that like people. I'm saying like you get like that, like you have shine, and then you have the watered down shine that we give to just like the super drunks, and like you're just gonna give them some of that.
That's fair.
Listen, all of a sudden, this guy's hand starts shaking. He gets deadly serious. He turns to you, Mildred. I wanted to wait till he was gone. I don't know if he's on the take or not, but I don't know why you seem nice. I used to work for John. He's got all the girls in the Pisco plant, the old Pisco plant.
Why does he have women crowded in a Pisco plant?
It's a brothel. Oh, it's a brothel outside of city limits, the size of which you wouldn't believe. Rip out all the machines, rip out all the office space, and you've got rooms made of cheap wood and plenty of girls to fill them. I washed my hands of it, but there's still plenty of them there. Someone's got to help them.
At this point, I'm like kind of low key disgusted, but like not at you, but like at that information, and like pat your hand, be like, be right back, and like go over to Sal real fast before he even gets the alcohol to him. And I'm just like, dude, like you will not guess what he just told me. Although none of that's 1920s, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I mean, again, I know this man. I know that he's right now. I didn't even recognize him up until this point because this is not normal of him. So I mean, I will trust his word, and obviously, I'll trust your word on that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty upset. I'm still going to be giving him a bottle, and I'm not giving him a cheap one. I'm giving him the same bottle of everyone else.
Fair enough. And that's. I mean, I don't know. That seems kind of like where we could end it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. That was way to pull the NPCs in. Like
that was good. Okay, so then this actually gives me a really good example of like when you play, you can control the NPCs to an extent with the GM's assistance.
Yeah.
But like, and then say. So the GM builds this world. Sorry to like go on a character. But
no. It's all good.
So the GM builds this world as you're doing and as you did, and then she pulls that, but that's not the way that NPC would react.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you would traditionally say? Well, that might not be quite the way, and you'd frame it a little different, or what's the?
I mean, so I had zero intentions of turning that NPC aggressive at any point. That was all Hannah.
Yep.
And then we turned it into what looked like aggression was actually him kind of glomming onto someone he knew. At least one memory that he has. So to be honest, it's almost total GM control at this point, and I'm not sure I'm opposed to that.
I like that. I would just make sure you make a note of that.
Yep, I believe it is in there, but I will double check.
I know I read through it. I can't recall though off the top of my head.
How dare you not remember every facet of like a 40,000 page or however? It's not 40,000.
20 pages.
Yeah, it's 20 pages, but it's still 20.
98 words of facet that he just added a 99th to.
There was only 92, but now there's 93. So, God, my control F that is not capital oriented in whatsoever is not enjoying life right now.
Mildred, before we forget this, what facet are you dropping by 1?
Yeah, I was gonna drop the profession by 1 because he was like, "Do you work here?" And I was like, because at that point I was already like, had his rainwater because his rainwater has since gotten to me.
I did not even notice you did that. Nice.
I heard it, but I didn't think it would go that way. That's a good call.
That's Shut up with your 4 role-playing sessions. Christ, you're gonna be better than all of us by the end of it.
Yeah, you're fine. Trust me.
Yeah, you're gonna be good.
You're fine. You'll slowly get more used to talking in character, but your framing the scene is perfect.
It's hard because like when we were in person, I was a lot more in character for our first one, but like
It's
now that
hard on here.
it's easier to like do like a half and half situation.
Also, I think framing a scene as a role-playing game player is harder than being in character. Personally,
It depends on who you are.
I think I know a lot of people who I would rather have someone good at framing a scene than someone good at being a character. I think
There's nothing and the way you're doing it of I do this is how I want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with, because that's, if you noticed, you might have already learned, that's kind of how I role play a little bit more. I am very charismatic, but I'm not very charismatic at the same time.
Yeah. The first time I played with Collin's girlfriend Sarah, she did it like that, which helped.
and the second time as well, by the way.
Yeah.
But the first time I had never realized.
Yeah, she's.
But the more you do it, Hannah, the more you're immersed in it, you'll slowly start to like skip, and you'll be kind of where I'm at, where I frame the scene, but then I role play the scene. Whereas you'll be able to get to a point like them of that. I'm used to creating a world and then guiding in. I'm not as used to playing in it.
Yeah.
So,
Ditto, but actually
Well,
both technically
better apparently. So
I'm naturally good at role playing. That's the of all the useless life skills to get, I didn't get like the good ones. I got the hey, you're really good at games with fun math cubes.
Pretend you're someone you're not.
Wow, I'm really good at disassociation.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Right.
say, dice are not fun math cubes. Fun math cubes are those blue, yellow, and like the little single cube, and then like the row of 10 cubes, and then the big squid.
Oh,
One
Is
math
this
cubes is
Sparkle?
that what's the game we played with the pane glass windows?
oh, Sagrada.
The Crowda.
Oh, I love Sagrada. It is such a good game.
the game did not catch my eye at all.
Oh, I have it. We could play it. You would like it, Riley.
Cole was no. They tried to get me to play it, and I watched them play it.
Well, I am a huge fan of that one, and Noctiluca too is really good.
For a second, I thought you said nyctophobia.
No, it was good for introducing me to you and your brother. That's what it was good for.
It was good for something at least.
Very little, nothing else. Legitimately nothing else. Okay.
So I guess it makes most sense for me to take the scene at this point, Colin, unless you oppose.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, and then before I fully take the scene, just so I know, because reading through it and everything, we only get one of these, right?
in Act 1.
But then in Act 2 is a montage, right?
And then we have a third act, which plays
the
exactly
third
like
act-
the first act.
Okay.
Yep.
So either way, though, we kind of have to be really good at setting us up, or else we kind of fail, right?
Well, it's up to you too. So in in both of our previous games, someone was like, all right, I want to take these characters to this location to have
Okay,
this scene.
good.
And then,
So that is canon then, if I go
Yep,
to do that.
absolutely.
That's something that is awesome. Great. I'm glad you said that, because you'll never guess it.
oh, good Lord.
All right. So first and foremost, I went behind the bar. I got the bottle for him. I also got 3 more bottles kind of cradled under my arm.
Okay.
One of them is very different from the others.
All right. I like this.
In fact, it almost looks unadorned. So I will take the scene with all of you,
Okay.
if that is kosher with all of y'all.
Yep.
And I am going to not attempt that terrible accent again and just kind of continue as I go.
Yep.
And I'm going to kind of like motion to Mildred to join me as I head over to the table of the 2 gentlemen, Keeney and the one introduced as Hoover.
Who I still don't know, by the way.
Correct. I mean, I know him as the eccentric old man that almost fell on the ground trying to help up Kenny.
And I also know you, Hannah.
Well, I don't know you though. I thought that was the point.
Right, you don't know me, but I know you.
Okay.
That's concerning, but
That's-
that's okay.
That's the part I love.
The bar often enough, he's at least seen me, and if he knows my dad, that makes sense.
So with that setting the scene, I'm kind of waving you over to the table where they're at.
And I'll follow.
Okay.
I'll follow.
Mr.
That's-
Kenton, is everything all right? I saw that awful altercation with that man.
I'm fine as I drop a bottle to you, a bottle to Hoover, and then the third bottle, that fancy bottle, or the unfancy bottle, the unadorned, I'm going to hand to Mildred. And it's just neatly, and I say neatly, and it's actually like chicken scratched. Just It's like a W. There's like a T half upside down, and there's like an R somewhere around the half side of the bottle. And there's other squiggles between those letters that you can't make out.
There's like 2 extra between the W and the T.
But none of them are A's. It's like a Z and like a Q.
Kenny looks at that bottle. Did you have Lewis right again? He's 4.
He's learning.
He has a malformed hand.
Is he going to learn, or is he going to suffer?
I feel like at some point, Mr. Kenton, you're torturing the poor boy.
He enjoys it. You can tell what it is. Mildred knows what it is.
I'm not gonna lie. The W has improved immensely since the last time.
See, she gets it. She knows.
Oh, is that what I think it is? And he'll grab the bottle and take a swig and be like, no, that's not the Joram of Ski I was looking for.
Sorry, this is a not on the table, and I just really off the table.
It's a particularly rare vintage, Professor. 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen.
Oh, that wonderful H2O everyone's been talking about. Fantastic. I will stick with the indelibles.
At this point, I just like look at you like low-key confused, Sal, and I'm just like, what the?
Skipping on that. Did we frame the name of the man on the ground?
We did not.
Okay. Our esteemed, my esteemed client, Samson over there, has fallen in some poor luck with the Reaper, it appears. And there's some other girls that have done the same. Thankfully, Mildred's not one. But I think we need to. The best way to get at Thompson is the best way to save these girls. And I think we need to head up to the Pisco plant. Apparently, it's been converted into some kind of a cat house.
That would make sense.
I know you're not much for battle, and I don't know what you're at. And Mildred, I know that you're probably still, on the clock for a little bit. But I think me, and if need be, I can bring a couple of the kids around. But and I kind of look at Kenny for this. I look at Kenny for this, and I'm like, I don't like to do this, but I need to go.
I'll go. No kids.
Honestly,
My hands are like shaking, but he's resolved. Kenny's resolved.
I look up from like dabbing my pants. Just be like, on the clock, there's no one here to even sing to other than Nate at the bar. What's it matter?
Eugene says nothing but swigs out of both his absinthe bottle and the bottle that you gave him.
Okay, so I am going to walk out to the truck. I am going to grab a very sketchily ruined umbrella. This thing's have bullet holes in it. It is very ineffective, and walk back in, of course, wet, and hand that to Mildred. And then kind of gesture everyone to follow me to the truck.
Yeah. Can I be the last one that goes out?
That is up to you. It is my scene, but I'm okay with you enacting yourself.
Keeney walks out without thinking and accidentally leaves his cane behind and walks normal.
I'm going to note that, but I'm not saying a word.
Please don't, because Keeney doesn't notice.
I'm aware. So I'm going to hop. At this point, it's just a single cab bench. Your traditional 1920s Dodge crappy pickup truck. It's running, obviously for the time, knobby tires, not very knobby for today's standard. A little bit larger, a little bit sturdier. It's there's holes. It's missing half of its gate in the back. It's not in good shape. I walk out there and turn it on, and all you hear is just a whine, and all you see is smoke for a brief second as the rain hits the hood and it dissipates.
That normal, Mr. Kenton?
Always. I'm going to kind of slap it a little bit, and then you hear the whine start to get louder and then just settle down to a nice, slow, kind of normal engine sound.
I like it.
Eugene's gonna kick the tires and, well, he's gonna try to kick the tires, but he misses the tires completely, and then he looks down at the compartment where all the gas is coming out and kind of huffs it a little bit, but
Oh my god.
he's completely hallucinating and not understanding what is 100% going on, and he says, "Oh yes, this is normal," and he'll jump in the passenger side.
All right. Are the other two kind of joining us in this cab?
I'll say that I feel like we should all just squish in the cab because it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I grab Eugene and yell at you to open up the door so we can just shove him in the middle with my very crappy umbrella. And that was at Sal.
All right. I'll open it up for you.
Open the door, Sal. He needs help.
I guess this means that Edward Keeney is going to have to sidle next to Mildred Goodwin.
Yep. And obviously I'll be on the far left, like crammed in there freaking. Obviously this is a 3 on the tree, by the way, because, this is how gears work back in the day. So I'm like angled over holding the steering wheel that's the size of an Atlas, freaking like pulling this just giant. It's not even like, it's honestly just a piece of like piping that you could tell. It wasn't welded. It wasn't it was literally like drop kicked until it was just slowly angled into gear and shoved into place.
I love this.
And I'm just gonna drop it down like all the way from it's in the what you assume would be neutral, and just drop it into 3 and just drop it. Like the truck just sputters, it pops, it goes backwards a little bit, and then just barrels. And then with the destination as the Pisco plant, if that's okay with you, Mr. Eugene, I would like to send it to you.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Is that the end of the scene? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Riley, what are you dropping?
I have lost, honestly, traumatic past. Because I've been around your cigarette.
Smoking engine.
The smoking engine. I think the fire is starting to settle in me. This thing that has shaped me and that has made me very concerned with something is slowly dying away.
I like it.
I'm still losing a core aspect without going down.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Sir Kollin.
Does that fall to me?
Sir Eugene.
It does.
All right.
As the truck takes off, though, I'm going to say that you guys, as the truck takes off, you can sort of like look out on either side of the road, and there are some men in dark coats, kind of like patrolling the streets. So you're aware that these are definitely John Thompson's men. The
So
Reapers.
what exactly
Reapers.
is the,
Are they nearby the truck? I hope, because I would hope that was deliberate as the tires are kicking up just deluges of water on
They are. A few of them are near enough to the truck to get splattered, but not all.
Okay, that doesn't need to be all. It just needs 1. I don't even need 2. Yeah, this is all you.
Just for clarification, is the Pisco plant, what was it before it became John Thompson's kind of brothel-esque place?
It was a canning and tin manufacturing plant. However, I as a master of suction, as a master of pneumatic scientist, you would be aware, however, that a lot of the principles in your research would have been used on their assembly line, in particular to deal with the scraps and loose shards of metal that sort of congregated at various places over the factory.
Interesting.
Also, as you guys drive out to just calm so you can set the scene and you can see kind of the opportunity that the rain has given you. You guys notice that, so the Pisco plant is on a big hill. It overlooks River City. So it's almost like a big castle it's almost like a fortress on the mountaintop. Part of not mountain, but the hill that it is built on, part of the embankment has actually washed away. And you notice that there's actually a large portion of the wall of the Pisco plant that, unbeknownst to everybody, seems to be shifting.
Okay. I would like to have my scene with everybody, if that's okay with everybody.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Awesome. So we pull up to the Pisco plant, and Eugene kind of is the first one to open the door and says, "Oh, did you know what this plant was previously used for?"
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying you crawled over like all of us?
I like to think instead
Yes.
Oh,
crawled
yes.
over to the
yes.
drive. Did you crawl the long way or the short way?
I was gonna say because
The
you're
long way.
Oh, so over both of them, just kicking me as you go.
Eugene is like, dude, he is on so much absinthe. He's like tripping. He's drunk. He's eccentric. He's an old dude. He's literally just like, the only thing he knows is pneumatic science. Like, that's his main purpose in life. And so he remembers this plant and the previous use of it and is just kicking over everybody to get there.
Yikes.
Mr. Hoover, Dr. Hoover, please stop.
Major, please, get out of the car with me. It's of vast importance.
I'm going to say that I both in an effort to make sure that Dr. Hoover doesn't kill himself, and also to kind of like get a little space between myself and Mildred, I will follow this crazy old man out into the rain to like try and keep him up.
Okay.
While maintaining my footing, I might add.
So he gets out and he kind of notices that Keeney, even in his crazy state, he notices that Keeney isn't limping or having the same typical walking pattern that he has. And says to him, Major, Mr. Ed, may I say Ed, or would you prefer Edward?
It's fine, Dr. Hoover. You've done more than enough for me to call me by whatever name you'd like.
Well, it would seem that you're walking with a straight gait, as it were. Ooh, I like the rhyme.
What? And my leg seizes up, and I drop down into the mud, into the dirt.
I will try and attempt to pick you up from the dirt, but as I slip and slide and am very, very drunk and, disturbed as well, I will kind of fall into the mud with you. And as I fall into the mud with you, I'm going to, like, whisper to you, how familiar are you with Miss Goodwin?
Not very. She's a striking woman.
Well, never mind then. I knew her father in a past life, so to speak, but perhaps this is something we can address at a later time. And I, again, attempt to help him up. And Hannah, do you think you hear me or no?
I feel like I don't hear you, but at this point, I just turned to Sal, exasperated, and I'm just like...
Still in the truck, right?
Yeah, we're both in the truck, but I just turned to you, exasperated. I'm just like, Sal, I know you're not the most civilian of individuals, but I'm becoming very concerned the friends you are getting, and that's coming from me. And I just hop out of the car with my very ratty, tatty umbrella, also getting soaked even further than my pants already were from the NPC, and go pick these people up, even though they are drunk off their, well, one of them's drunk off their ass and should be reminding me of my father, but is not. I just want to help them at this point.
Thank you for the assistance.
Of course. Happy to help you, I guess. Eugene, are you all, doctor, are you fine? I mean...
And as you're saying that, Eugene is kind of walking towards the plant already and leaving the three of you behind, and he's just screaming at the top of his lungs, you, John Thompson! You!
At this point, Sal is straight up popping the truck back into park, or at least up, hopping out, leaving the door open, and just sprinting toward Eugene in an attempt to, like, shut him up politely.
Can Eugene make a roll to perhaps...
I am gonna say that Eugene is going to have to make a roll because you are like a drunk bull in a china shop at this point.
Yeah.
What kind of roll do you need me to make?
So whenever you make a roll, and I'm glad, Kollin, that you brought this up because this is a good time to do it, but whenever you'd like to make a roll, you have to pick one of your facets to use that roll for. So regardless of your success or failure on this roll, your facet is going to go down 1. for
Okay.
its use. So you have to say, you know what, you could say profession shine stiller, as somebody who wrangles drunks and crates full of the stuff that gets them drunk. I am strong enough
That's
to wrestle
exactly
this
what I
old
would
man.
use.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could do that. So you're going to take that one 6-sided dice that you have left. I always want to say left fallow, but it's not a field that you have left unused, and you are going to roll that dice, adding the value of your facet to it.
So I add my 5 from Shine Stiller to that die.
Yes, to that dice.
So I roll a 2. That would take
Wait.
it to 7.
You're taking a 7. I
Okay.
am going to deem that it is enough, but that you're actually going to have to drop that facet by 1 and then another facet by 1 as Eugene is kicking up more and more mud and water and dirt, and you're just in the rain fighting with him.
Copy. So do I let him roll before I drop mine, or do I drop mine now?
You will drop him at the end of this scene.
Okay.
Or actually, no, drop him now. Drop him now.
Drop him now. So I'm going to drop my profession, obviously, Shine Stiller, down to 4 instead of 5.
Okay.
And then I am going to drop my addiction to the Shine down. Which, do I need to explain why my alcohol addiction is slowly starting to waver?
No, I think it actually makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Sir Kollin, or Professor Eugene Bates Hoover.
So, with a successful roll, Kyle, does he like tackle me into the mud? Like, what happens?
We're gonna say that he manages to sort of like lift you up from behind. So his arms are underneath your arms, like at your armpits, and you are still. It's the hold me back, bro. Like you're about to get into a fist fight with this concrete plant, if you possibly could.
Okay, so, as Sal was holding me back here, I'm gonna be like flailing my arms, just screaming out like, "F you, John! Fuck Mr. Thompson! The patents for the Hoovers will go through no matter what, and there's nothing you can do to stop it."
At this point, you hear clattering noise and very angry shouts from inside the Pisco plant.
All right. I would say then that at this point, if Edward's leg is still hurting, I've given up my umbrella so that he can use it as his cane, and we hustle on over to those two, and I'm just like, "Doctor, do you have no self-respect? We are trying to get over the head of John Thompson. A little discretion would be advised."
Oh, discretion! Discretion, Miss Goodwin wants to say. Have you any idea who your father was?
Yes, he was my father. In fact, I know him immensely. How do you know who my father was?
Miss Goodwin, sorry, did you want to say something?
Perhaps we should have this fight. Oh, never mind.
And Mr. Thompson, Miss Goodwin's father is going to come out and find you.
I'm sorry. I just didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
He says, Miss Thompson, or excuse me, Miss Goodwin's father is going to come out and fight you.
My father? Oh, I'll go back. My father's not really around anymore.
Are you not aware of who I am?
No. You are
Oh.
really a drunk and a doctor, and that's about as far as I'm aware of, other than Sal's acquaintance.
Well, while I
I'm still holding him, just not shaking my head vehemently. Just
Heaney like makes this video over to you. We have to get him out of here. We have to get out of here now.
While I can't argue that I am both a drunk and a professor, your father and I were quite good friends, and we, quote-unquote, tied one on from time to time. And at this point, I think Eugene is going to end the scene here with him kind of like writhing out of the grasp of Mr. Kenton and sort of laying on his back flat with his tongue out, just kind of imbibing the rain itself and laughing hysterically.
Oh my God. Okay, so because we have all been exposed to the rain because of just the nature of this scene,
Do we all reduce?
everyone is going to reduce by 1, except for Kollin and I, who rolled around literally in the mud and the puddles, who are each going to reduce a facet by 2. So we'll start with Riley. What are you dropping?
I am yet again going to drop my addiction.
Okay.
Again, seeing two drunks technically roll around in the mud with one predominantly. Yeah.
Okay. Kollin, what is Eugene Bates Hoover going to drop?
He's going to drop his profession of pneumatic science down to a 4.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
No. What is Mildred going to drop down by 1?
I don't know.
All
I
right.
feel like you should be irresistible. I feel like I'll do irresistible urge to avoid alcohol. At this point, I need a drink.
I'm going to drop my pacifism down to a 3.
Copy.
Did you get mine?
I
Kyle?
did. Your urge not to drink is dropped from a 3 to a 2. Okay, at this point, this is the complication. So this is the montage scene. We each basically have like 4 or 5 sentences max to describe what our character is doing in regards to a massive complication that has arisen because of our actions or in spite of our actions in many cases. So the clattering and the banging, all of the noise that has been caused by Eugene's just colossal meltdown in front of the Pisco plant has awakened the beast that is John Thompson's small army of personal bodyguards and button men. There's a 20s term for you for hitmen. There you go.
Heyo.
About 6 the doors to the Pisco plant, these massive like hangar doors where you would have gone into the actual work floor, slide open, and there's about 8 guys, all like, I mean, just loaded for bear, that like walk out like just guns raised, starting to shoot at us.
May I request to go first?
You may. And in the center, they are flanking on either side. So 4 and 4, they're flanking just this gorgeous chromed black, 8-wheeled looking monstrosity of an automobile.
Oh, that's even better.
And so we will begin. So obviously with the complication, Riley, you will, you'll tell me what you're doing, 4 or 5 sentences real quick. Again, as the GM, I have like whatever power to sort of override things, but for the most part, it is your show to run for the next 4 or 5 sentences. It's going to go boom, 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 and it's going to thrust us right into Act 3.
All right, are you guys okay if I go first?
Absolutely. I'm so
All right.
excited. I've never seen you that pumped to go first at something. I cannot wait.
You will recall my door is open and my truck is running.
Mm-hmm.
I am sprinting to my truck, hopping in with the door still open, shifting it back down to mud splattering 3, and I am spinning and going straight for that black beast of a car.
Oh my God.
Hopefully spinning around our people, of course. Let me add that in there to ensure, like to loop around to not hit them and just gunning for that car. Because I assume who it is.
I am going to say that everybody that is not in the car has to lose a facet right now, as Riley is sputtering more of the rainwater into us.
I am so sorry, but I feel like that's
going to happen now. By the way, I'm going to lose my psychosomatic limp down to a 3.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to ruin it.
No, it works. I'll drop profession down to a 2.
I will also drop my profession down, but mine goes to a 3, I think, at this time.
Yep.
All right. So Riley is gunning it. He manages to buy you time. The cars collide in this giant just cacophony of broken metal and wood and fire and hooch, because of course there's hooch within the floorboards of Riley's car.
Oh, it's on the bed, in the cab. I don't have – what's an airbag? Are you talking about this holder for more alcohol?
Yeah. It is a Christmas mess. So,
I just died, potentially.
who would like to go next?
Oof.
So
Sorry,
this is
guys.
it's actually in reverse turn order for this. So actually, it would have been me. But I'll go
Oh,
next.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's way better. In the rules say too that you can play fast and loose with turn order for this very reason, because I think that's a way better idea. So Riley, this is a function that you might not be aware of, but you can drop any facet in after the rain down to automatically succeed on a facet roll, particularly if it would be impossible to automatically succeed.
Okay. So what happens if one of my facets goes to 0?
It is gone. That part of your personality is erased.
Oh, good.
And not only is it erased, any memories that are like heavily associated with it
Disappear.
The friends you made, the skills you accrued, the experience that it gave you, all of it's gone. It's like a tactical nuke on that one part of your personality.
So then can I do that to succeed at murdering and or not dying of my own accord and hitting this truck or this car?
Absolutely. I was not going to kill you, but if you but yes. So you would have had to do it then in the montage, but yeah, in the future,
sorry.
if you'd like to, no, it's okay.
Okay.
In the future, you'd like to, but so this is what I'm going to do. Cause this is you set me up for a good story moment. So
okay, good.
I'm pumped for it. So if it is a 4 or 5 or 6, you can drop it down to a 1 to automatically succeed on something. If it is a 3 or lower, it falls to 0 to automatically succeed on a roll.
Okay.
I am going to drop my charge for my daughter from a 5 to a 1.
Damn. Terrible friend.
Edward Keeney is going to sprint, full-on sprint, like a track star sprint. Psychosomatic limp be damned, into the fray, using the distraction caused by you to make a beeline straight for the guys. And I'm like, come on, let's go! To the other two, there's a guy down on the ground. I'm going to rip a sawed-off shotgun from him, clear like 2 or 3 guys out, grab you from the cab, and then keep motioning for the rest of the party to follow me. I'm going to drop pacifism down to a 2 as well, because my scene is over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I have a shell of a man. I have a 2, a 1, and a 3. Jesus,
You want to
Marine.
talk about it?
Freaking Joseph. No, I don't. Edward Keeney is a broken human. Well, maybe not. That's the thing. You could come out completely broken, or you could come out a better person for losing these facets.
It depends on what you lose.
It does. And the order in which you lose it, which I love. All right, so then it would be Kollin.
Speaking of which, I'm going to see Major Edward kind of signaling us to go toward him. I'm going to grab the last sip of absinthe that I have from my bottle, and I'm going to drop my irresistible urge to absinthe down to a 1 as well. And I'm going to follow you into combat, Kyle. I'm going to Professor Eugene kind of, as he's laughing and lapping up the rainwater, he stands up and says, "Oh my goodness, well, I do believe William would be proud of me if I jumped into battle. Let us go, Major Edward. Let us go. This is the only way I know how to revamp my patterns. Pneumatic power be damned." And he sprints into the middle of the fray there and kind of pulls up next to you. And I don't know if he holds your hand, but he doesn't know necessarily what, like, military men do. So he kind of feels like, oh, maybe this is the way that they do this. Maybe this is the way they get together. And he grabs your hand and kind of runs into the fray with you and maybe axes your cane for a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Mildred?
Well, first things first, I'm pretty sure I screamed bloody murder at Sal for doing that and living with a bunch of maniacs who I don't even really know.
Leaving you with a bunch of maniacs as the one that you just yelled at that for blew up everything around. Anyway, continue.
That's true. I'm surrounded by maniacs, although am I even that much saner? Who knows? Other than, I guess I'm going to say that Mildred goes into like low-key shock because first there's a scientist babbling nonsense at her, and he's zozzled off his ass on absinthe. And then her only relative friend / coworker just became a kamikaze truck driver. So I'm gonna say I go into like shock and just low-key like fall in the mud. And then one of John's guys grabs me, and by the time you guys turn around, I'm gone.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh,
no.
And because I fell in the mud,
Yes.
I'm gonna drop my profession down to 0. I no longer remember what I was beforehand.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, we are in the belly of the beast, as it were.
That we are. So that was Act 2, correct?
We have one more act remaining.
Okay.
So this usually plays out in reverse turn order. So it starts with oldest and then youngest. Goes to youngest. So the last person that's going to have this scene is going to be Hannah. Hannah, if it is okay with you, I want my scene to be with you.
Okay.
I want to like maybe see if I can track them down. Track you down.
I'm good with that.
All right, so I'm gonna say this. I have Eugene in one hand. Oh, this is some nice framing, because it was Mr. Kenton who had Eugene and then me, and now it's me with Kenton and Eugene. That's some nice narrative bookending.
We're leading it through.
Yeah, wow, okay.
You could even backtrack it in the movie and have like one of those things where they like fade to the future and then kind of like fade back. But it's really quick. It's like a.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Exactly.
We're gonna get John Williams to direct the score, and then it's gonna be the same theme as when Kenton was carrying the two of them. It's gonna be the same theme music, but it's gonna be slower. Yes, slower with a cello.
Instead of the viola that was used before.
Yes, this is not a happy-go-lucky, I'm helping my drunk friends. I am carrying my wounded comrades into the literal freaking den of evil that is John Thompson.
All right, so it's you and Hannah, so I assume you're dropping us.
Well, I'm gonna drop him here, and I'm gonna drop Eugene's hand. I'm gonna lay you down. Dr. Hoover.
Yes.
I am going to go get Mildred. I'm going to go get Miss Goodwin. I need you to find a spot that's not crawling with people. There's like, and you from around in the background, you guys can hear the screams of like women running around, and there's like the shouts of like guys. You can see like there's some dudes who clearly aren't on the take. Who are not part of John's men, like literally running out of the factory with their pants down, like naked into the rain, because that's a good idea. But in any case, the whole thing is starting to go, and then the wall where that embankment is in, it starts to cave down. So literally there's a big crack in the center of this wall, and the back of the wall is starting to split. You hear like more guns getting racked. People are just yelling. It's just utter freaking chaos. Find a spot where you can recuperate. I have to go get Miss Hoover. Miss Goodwin. Damn, water's in my ears.
Edward, and he kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "It's going to be okay." And he looks down into his holster and pulls out a pneumatic device that does suction 2 ways and takes a few steps forward and then looks back at you and says, "It's going to be okay. Tell William I love him." And he just takes a couple steps forward, and I'll let you continue your scene.
What? Damn it, old man. I'm gonna drag Kenton off to like a corner, like behind some like barrels and stuff. Slap him awake. Hey.
What the?
Hey.
I assume I'm relatively. I don't know if I guess when you pulled me, I don't know what the fire was like. I assume I'm okay.
You are cognizant. You managed to get out before.
Yeah.
Hey, I lost my memory of my daughter for you.
Yeah, I know you did. I know.
So you are.
Well, I don't know, but I know.
You're back. You are back at it.
Yeah. That's the truck.
Kenton.
The car.
The damn car's gone, along with half the factory. What the hell were you doing?
Buying you time that clearly didn't work.
God damn it! So
Why did you run this way?
Because I was supposed to save you. We don't leave a soldier behind.
I'm not. Thank you, Major.
Thank you, Mr. Kenton. I'm gonna pull out there's like a little pack in my overcoat pocket. Thank you for everything. Suddenly, I feel the need to do something I haven't done in quite some time. I appreciate that. I slapped the package into your hands. I put a hand on your cheek and just kind of pat you one more time. 6 shots in there, Mr. Kenton. There's 6 shots in there.
You would.
Help the old man. If you pull it out, it's my service revolver from World War I. It is the same gun I carried with me into the trenches. It's the same gun the only thing I brought with me when I came home.
6-inch Colt, I presume.
And you kind of
single or double is the biggest question, but that doesn't matter.
I'll let you decide. So you're gonna like kind of look at you and be like, all right, are you gonna need this? And I'm gonna just kind of gesture to the fact that I have a pump action shotgun.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna literally just nod one more time and go, help the old man. Shh. I'm sorry. So real quick, Mildred, where do we find you?
I was thinking that there's like if it's a factory, there's gonna be like the second story with like the catwalk sort of like situation, and it's like at a corner office that's against a sturdy wall and half against that decrepit wall. And at this point, like, you just hear me screaming, like, get your bloody hands off me, because at this point I'm just mad and I have no idea what's going on. Other than the fact that, like, I guess John's there, and you just hear me scream, I guess, in frustration.
Great. So I'm going to come into the room, and then literally it's just, like, round the corner, and it's like ordering a pizza for Kenton for Keeney at this point, who just thunk, shik, thunk, shik, thunk, shik, just like down. And he just kind of stands there, like gun still smoking, racks the last shot in the shotgun. I don't actually think we've had a chance to introduce ourselves, which actually entirely my problem. My mother always said she'd had trouble raising a young gentleman. Keeney? My name is Edward Keeney.
Hi. I get distracted for a second and like tow a groaning but very much bleeding out to death like soldier. That was
Yes.
I was like, gripping my wrist, and I just like kind of him gently and to make him grunt. It's nice to meet you. Thank you. Officially, I'm Mildred.
Pleasure. You've met me at a rather strange time in my life, if you'll excuse me. I'm going to go flip this guy over and stick the shotgun in his face. Where the is Thompson? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to... I mean, by all means, they did grab you first. I kind of like gestured to the shotgun.
What happily, thank you. And I don't know how to work a gun for the life of me, so I just turn around and like baseball bat the like handle into his face. Be like, I don't really care what Thompson is. I'm just pissed, and I turn it back around and give it to you.
We still need to find him.
Oh yes, I guess that is quite important. Sorry. I don't think I've ever interrogated someone before, though I'm not entirely sure what I did do before this.
Usually I patched people up after the interrogations.
Oh, well.
Army, Medic Corps. He gestures to the sawed-off shotgun that the guy was carrying and kind of hands it to you. Sort of like a camera.
Thank you.
Point and click.
the 1920s, Kyle.
Cameras
There
exist.
were
They were
cameras.
invented in the
Yeah.
800s.
Yes, but they're not very point and click at that point in time.
They were. You can.
I guess you could point and then click, but not quite as common.
How about this,
Anyway,
right?
continue.
We stay in 1920s. Do I have to hold it in place for very long, or is it just kind of?
No. Same day development, as it were.
Oh, you should do that. That'd be nice.
Thompson? And maybe buy you a drink after? Keeney's gonna get up and sort of like try to find someone else to interrogate. And that's gonna be where I'm gonna end my scene. God dang it. These characters are gonna wind up building a new life off of blood and murder, and I love it. Okay.
Well, at this
Wish I
point,
could
I
write.
don't think I have much left in my desire not to drink. It's like what?
You would take Keeney up on the drink. I am gonna drop my pacifism once again to a 1
Copy.
at this point.
So it is Mr. Hoover's turn, correct?
It is. I am so ready to see what happens here.
This pneumatic can opener in his hand.
Oh, and William's like the one thing that still hasn't been touched by the rain, like barely at all. Oh, he's gonna remember his son the whole time.
Mr. Eugene Bates Hoover is feels as you kind of loose the grasp on your hands together and realizes that probably isn't how they did it in wartime. But as you loose your hand, he reaches down to where a gun probably should be and pulls out his pneumatic vacuum, which he has been trying so desperately to get a patent from Mr. John Thompson. And as he holds the pneumatic vacuum in his hand, he has an epiphany that he can actually use a vacuum pump to reduce the amount of pressure but increase the amount of friction to the point where you could shoot projectiles out of a vacuum if you could reverse engineer the way that a vacuum works. And using his 2-pump section and the 2-pump suction, he would be able to do that. So would I be able to make a roll to see if I can, in the moment, kind of figure out how to reverse polarity, so to speak, and use my pneumatic vacuum as a shotgun?
I am not even going to require a roll. That is the tightest ever. Just do it. That's a just do it.
So through Google, that is a real thing. Apparently, if you have a pneumatic vacuum, you can make it into a gun.
God damn it, Riley! Of course you know that.
I only learned as he spoke, Kyle.
God damn it, Riley.
So as he loses his urge to drink this absinthe, he fractures the bottle on his own head because he's eccentric as. And he reaches down, picks up the shattered pieces of glass, and starts pumping them into this pneumatic, essentially what is now a shotgun. And he's wading into battle, drunken as tripping, bleeding out of his head now. Pieces of skin are starting to fall off, and he's walking in, and he's just screaming, "I'll do this for William, you assholes! I'll do this for William!" And he's just like throwing glass shards in here as like John Thompson's men are walking up, and he's trying to shatter them, scatter pieces of their blood and bones all over the building. And he doesn't even really know why, but he's doing it because he had the touch of holding your hand. I know we didn't touch on it a whole lot, but he had the friendship between himself and Mr. Goodwin. And even in the brief moments of meeting one Mr. Sal Kenton, he felt like maybe he knew somebody other than himself for just a second. And this is what he can do to help them. So he is just loading these pieces of glass in there, taking the rain on, taking the people on, and just trying to buy you guys time.
I'm going to rule, Kollin, that you actually get hit a couple times in some stray shots.
That's fair.
So you're nothing that's going to stop your absinthe-fueled rage. But a lot to enough to slow you down. And if you're all right with me embellishing a tad bit of story into your rampage as well, we'll say that with every pump of the shotgun, because we haven't really got a chance to talk about it too much. I mean, Riley crashed a truck into some things. But we'll say that with every pump of the shotgun, you're remembering the good times you had with us, definitely. And then also with Mildred's dad. So every pump of that shotgun is like you kind of saying goodbye to some of memories and saying hello to some new ones.
Yeah, for sure. I like that.
Oh God, I'm so scared. We only have 2 more scenes left. Oh God.
Oh man, there's the reality is real, if you will.
Yeah, the reality is real. Let's put that on a shirt. That's a Kickstarter exclusive. The reality is real shirt.
Yeah,
that's for After the Rain, right there.
So
along with I'm a preacher. God damn it.
I'm a preacher. God damn it.
And are you in heaven? You're in Minnesota. It's the furthest thing from it.
Yep.
No, you said it the other way. It's like, are we in heaven? No, you're in the furthest thing from it. This is Minnesota.
In any case, so that's what a great scene. What are you dropping down, sir?
I'm going to drop my absinthe by 1 and go to 0 on that.
Yep, to 0. We are gonna go to who wants to go next, I guess, is the big question. We've been playing fast and loose the turn order. Why change it now?
It is entirely up to you, Hannah. I can wait. I can go first. I guess we don't know where he is yet, so that makes it difficult.
So you could, if you wanted, you could have a scene with all of us, because we're looking for someone to interrogate.
So it's up to you, Hannah. Did you want to go last per the canon of the rules, or do you want to go next?
I want Hannah to have the last scene.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
I think Hannah's gonna give us a good one.
That works for me.
It's been nonstop bangers from Hannah tonight, so we're gonna entrust the end of it.
Let's do it. So right. I am going to start the scene with good old Salmon Wilson Kenton. Sal to those that don't know him well, and if you call him Salmon, it will not end well for you.
You'll stop knowing him well.
Though he is deep in the drink, if you will. This battered, slightly charred, just not happy man who is currently holding a beautiful Colt single-action 6-inch in his hands, surrounded with dead bodies, a man shooting glass out of a vacuum, 2 other companions gone, a truck in flames. I don't know if this is the time where I would ask the GM this. I assume I would. What happened to the car that I hit?
It is a smoldering wreck.
So, can I assume glass is broken. Do I see who was in it?
Yes, and not a single person in there is John Thompson.
I assumed as not, and I'm okay with that.
Members of his hit squad.
That was the assumption, but an impression was made, and that's what matters. So I look at this man who has been in front of me, who is so much more sober, yet so much more drunk at the same time, in front of me. And I am going to kind of run up, brandishing the revolver, but knowing that it is only a few left. I'm going to cock back the hammer and keep it known and keep as calm as I can while kind of grabbing him and pulling/pushing, propelling would be the term, up the stairs to this catwalk on where I saw this limping man run up. And I am going to attempt to join you guys in the room, hopefully, avoiding as much bloodshed as we can.
Okay.
So, one, Sir Hoover, do you have any objections to me trying to pull you along?
Not at all. I would say that he doesn't stop shooting his vacuum for any reason.
I assume not. I hope not.
Yeah, but he is totally fine with anything that happens in the next few moments, so he'll be okay with that.
Okay. So I assume your door is busted down, correct, you said? Or broken?
Yeah, we have, we're all...
Where are we intercepting you in the room? Or are you guys out of the room at this point?
We walked away. It's entirely so. If you want to like look around and then like all of a sudden like we sort of like maybe like we reconvene.
I assume we're running up as you guys are running out of the room. Would be my assumption.
Perfect.
Because of timing, that would make the most of sense.
Yep. So the two of us kind of look at each other. I'm gonna rule that we've found where John Thompson is located. He's at like the very top of this place. So there's like a nest of like catwalks, like on the third floor that John has turned into like a impromptu penthouse where he can sort of take.
He's at the top of the PP.
Yes.
Bicycle plant.
He is the
He
P squared. He's literally at the top of literally at the top, which is great.
He's the head of the PP. Man.
I'm sure his fall will be momentous.
Sure.
So in any case, yeah. So we'll reconvene. We'll say that we share. Hannah and I can share the location with you guys, and then you can.
If that's fine with you.
Yep.
And I assume we'll be running up. I mean, I am cocked back. At this point, anyone that we'll be coming into contact with, I will be firing as needed. Although I assume the vacuum is making nice covering fire.
Yes.
Shards of glass and other follicles that I don't want to question coming out of it.
It's at least scary.
All right, and as we run up the stairs, I am going to end and give it all to Miss Mildred Goodwin.
So we're gonna say that you guys managed to cut a swath.
I am going
up those
to
stairs.
drop my fire aversion to 0.
We're gonna say that you cut a swath up those stairs. You have managed to shoot your way up there, and in classic movie villain fashion, John Thompson, this towering, almost 7 foot tall, broad-shouldered, strong, dark hair slicked back man, is standing there in his boxer briefs, holding a long-barreled Smith & Wesson to the temple of some girl who just does not have any idea what's going on, really. He's addled out of her mind, and he's looking at all of you. Who are you people, huh? Who the hell are you? Breaking into my thing. Breaking into... At this point, you notice that he's kind of like, there's a little crack in the ceiling, and he's kind of got some rainwater on him as well. I don't even know who you are. Moo and Shell, get it.
Can you scroll back down to my thing so I forget what I have and what? Great. I am complete traumatic past at this point. Love that. Okay. So since he's on a rage, he clearly doesn't know who anyone is. I have the shotgun still for some reason, but when we sprint up the steps, I grabbed Mr. Edwards' hand. And so like I casually let go of that and like take a step forward. Like, Mr. Thompson, you don't remember any of us, right?
Do you know how many people I work with on a daily basis? Do you know the things that go on in this city that require my touch, my hand? I know 10,000, 50,000 people at least.
I interrupt him like mid-monologue because he probably could have kept going. Like, quite familiar. Actually, I don't know if you recall a small little 4-foot tall Mildred when she was only 12 years old coming to you as since at that time you were certainly the best judge in the state, assistance for my very abusive father, Mr. Howard Goodwin.
He cocks the gun back. At this point, you're aware that him not knowing you has nothing to do with the rain. This guy has literally just destroyed so many lives he just doesn't even know anymore. You know how many young girls come to me with their lives in tatters and a sob story in their throats? Easy pickings. World's full of them.
I nod my head, and your character, Edward, is kind of like trying to like reach after me, but he still has the gun and the innocent girl, so you don't want to like follow me too close. He's like got like one hand like kind of trained towards you and like one hand with the shotty. Yeah, but I still have my gun in my hand. It was the sawed-off shotgun too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just have it resting in my like right hand. My other hand's like kind of out, and like you can't quite tell what I'm doing, but I'm obviously up to something. Going back to John Thompson, you're like, I am quite aware of how many girls you go through, sir. And I I keep just inching closer to him, and my eyes are getting nice and big. She's like, and I was just, I guess, wondering if you'd ever be willing to take a look at my case again. And all of a sudden, like, my anger's kind of like dropped down a little bit, and like I seem to be pleading for some reason, unbeknownst.
He takes a step back in the gang walk, but he's not killing. He's not shooting the girl, and he's not moved. He hasn't moved the gun away. What are you talking about? Stay back! Get away from me! Get away from me, you crazy broad! And then he pulls the gun towards you guys. He points the gun towards you.
Which works out perfectly because while he's in mid-movement, I'm just close enough to be able to point and shoot a shot-off shotgun at him to be able to hit him and not really hurt the girl at all. And it just, like, hits him straight in the leg as I just, like, scream. I'm like, ah! Because I don't really know what's happening too much. And he hits a knee.
I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna require that you make a roll for that.
Okay.
Or do the automatic succeed thing. Either one. But you are gonna have to make something happen with a facet.
I would say let's just drop father down. We can just get rid of the traumatic past since I'm essentially facing one of my biggest demons right now. And I just shoot him straight in the leg and he's just down a kneecap.
It spins him off, the girl runs, the gun goes flying, and all of a sudden John Thompson is on his knees in front of the three of us, and every single one of us has a loaded gun. No.
You said three of us.
Sorry, four of us. I'm not counting myself because I always think I'm always in game master mode and I hardly ever play these things. So, sorry. In any case, he's on the ground. His gun is like falling off the catwalk. The girls are running away. The downstairs is just in absolute chaos. He's looking up at us. What do you want? You want money? You want power? What do you want? I'll give it to you.
You will? You promise?
Of course. Anything you need.
Well, great. Because I don't know about you, Edward, or you, Sal, but there's only one thing I want from this man.
Shh.
I want him dead.
Gentlemen, are we all okay if we all fire at the same time?
Yeah, that'd be badass.
So there's just like the.
Have you ever a fan of the hammer before? I mean, you have not, but do you understand the reference?
Oh yes.
I assume I have at least 3 shots left.
Yes, you do.
So yes, please.
I have exactly 1 shotgun shell left in my
Your 4+1 barrel that has shot at least 16 bullets at this point.
My sawed off, or not a saw. Yeah, in my sawed off. But
Well, technically, you could have grabbed like a Tommy from one of the gangs.
No, it was a pump. I mean, it was like a sawed off pump action, so it's not like it's a.
It goes from a 30-inch down to being somewhere in the ballpark of a 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless,
I have unlimited ammo from the amount of alcoholic bottles I've smashed against my forehead.
Yeah.
I believe all of that.
And you could literally just grab scrap metal, bullets, coins, whatever.
Dead bodies.
Yeah.
Again, I assume there's things in there that I don't want to know about, thus the comment that I made on my turn.
But I've only got – so Edward Keeney's only got 1 shot in his shotgun, but God, I think he would give literally anything in this world except maybe the people standing on either side of him for a couple more shells to pump into John Thompson. And so, Hannah, if you're okay with it, why don't we start our ending montage at this moment? So what's going to happen, Riley, is much like our second act, this is the closing act montage. This is where – oh, sorry. Hannah, you only have 1 facet to drop down to 1.
Yeah.
So
I'm a whole new person from this, guys.
As is Keeney. As is all of us, actually. I mean, Shine Stiller is still sitting pretty.
That was the one I couldn't drop. Let's be real.
But what's crazy is you're a Shine Stiller who doesn't like alcohol anymore.
I guess it's better for my wallet this way.
Yeah, well, but if you don't want to drink and you've seen the poison, do you keep making it? I don't know.
I mean, I might become a Shine Stiller to a Shine Dealer exclusively.
We'll find out.
If I have a truck at the end.
So what's going to happen? Yeah, we don't. So it's good. So at this point, guys, our closing scene, all of us just pump John Thompson full of whatever projectiles we've got, whether it's bullets or glass or buckshot from a double barrel sawed off like Mildred's, or slugs from a pump action sawed off like Edward's. As we pump him full of everything that we've got, and his body falls off of the catwalk, the final section, the partition, the embankment finally gives way, and literally as he's falling, the whole back of the Pisco plant literally breaks off, slides down this massive embankment. So it's literally, there's a giant slit has opened in the wall. And as it falls, as it crumbles, and as we don't even get a chance to hear John Thompson's body hit the ground, but as it does, you notice that the clouds overhead begin to break. And for the first time in what seems like a long time, the night sky is completely and totally clear. And that is where we are going to take off with the montages. And so the way that this works, Riley, is that you will go basically bit by bit. You'll go facet by facet, I should say, through your character to talk about what your character does next. This can be like, it's just in the immediate future. This could be maybe you're like, all right, this is what I'm going to do with my character. This is what happens after the rain. Hence the title, After the Rain. This could be what I do after the rain, and this is the life that I make for myself. But that's entirely up to you. So let's do this. I'll have you go last, Riley, so you can kind of see what happens, what's going to go on, what this entails.
Either or.
And then we'll let you kind of take the final one. So, if Kollin, if you are okay with it, do you want to start? I feel like Eugene's is probably the best one to start us with.
Yeah, I'm totally down. So Eugene firstly looks at Sal, who he's just recently met, and kind of shakes his hand and just gives him a little nod and doesn't say anything. And then as he starts to look over to Miss Goodwin, he just starts laughing. And it's like the hysterical mad scientist laugh where he's just, oh my goodness. And you can see like shrapnel and all kinds of backfire from the vacuum is stuck within his neck, stuck within his shoulders and his chest, and real bullets are stuck within, different parts of his body. And he's laughing, just shaking your guys' hands. And as he's shaking Miss Goodwin's hand, he doesn't see Miss Goodwin at all, but he sees Howard. And even though she doesn't know that he knows him well, that's all he can see right now. He's still riddled with absinthe. He's still riddled with bullets. And he shakes his hand one last time and says, "It was good to know you, Howard." And then he looks over and he sees the Major, and he shakes the Major's hand, and still laughing, he says, "Major, you've got a long life to lead, and I'm glad to be the one to, let's say, put you on the pedestal." And then he walks over to the body of John Thompson, and he just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. And he's not looking at John Thompson. He's looking at his son. He's looking at William Henry Hoover, who would eventually come to make the patent for the vacuum cleaner. And he looks down at his shotgun, which is actually a vacuum cleaner, and he fiddles with a couple things, and he finally figures it out. He figures the double suction out. He figures that positive agitation system, and the same hole that John Thompson fell into. He looks down, he sees the answers, he looks back at you guys one last time, and he just goes, "It's been a life. Goodbye." And he falls into the hole as he starts to get the vacuum cleaner working, and you guys can hear what is the first whirring of a vacuum cleaner back in the 1920s as he hits the bottom of the hole and meets his fate alongside John Thompson.
Just this old man tumbling off. Bro, why am I crying in the club right now? That was beautiful.
Fine. I'm not crying. You're crying.
God damn, I don't think I ever cared so much about vacuum cleaners in my entire life.
Hell yeah.
Same. I'm gonna go next, if that's okay with you guys. Or Riley, it's up to you. Riley, do you want to go next? Do you want to follow it, or?
I'll let you lead.
All right. So in the immediate aftermath of all of this, so we've watched you tumble off the catwalk down to the ground where, Thompson is lying in a pool of his own blood, him with this horrible expression of rage and fear and frustration, and you just content. So the first thing we do is I'm going to lead Mildred down, if that's okay, with Mildred's character. I'm going to lead her down by the hand, and we're going to have Kenton follow along. And I look down at my leg, and I realize for the first time that I'm still standing after all of it. My hands aren't shaking, and for the life of Edward Keeney, he cannot remember why he was ever so afraid to fight for the things that he cared about. So he looks down at your body, and just like you grabbed his hand, he's going to grab yours. He's going to take your hand, and he's going to whisper, just not loud enough so anybody can hear, but just loud enough so that you'll know. Thank you for helping me stand. More ways than one. He's going to take the vacuum tube, slips it into his pocket. I'll make sure your son gets it. Make sure the Hoovers are someone to remember. Bye, old friend. And we're going to say that I'm going to skip. We're going to do a little time jump here. That it's maybe a little bit in the future, and yes, Riley. That was actually I thought I had made that change. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
I wasn't trying to. That's why I typed
Nope.
it.
So we'll say it's after the rain, far after the rain. There's a little street cafe in New York City with a post box nearby, and we watch Edward Keeney slip a package into the post box addressed to the Hoover residence in Ohio. And then walking hand in hand with him is Mildred, and the two of them sort of slip into a nice a nice seated outdoor cafe for that drink. And when she asks him what the package was, he just says he's dropping something off for a very old, very important friend of his. And that's going to be where we leave Edward Keeney's journey off. All right, Mildred, you're up.
All right, so wow, we've been on a ride. I have literally nothing from like my past life to remember other than the fact that I no longer have an aversion to alcohol. But so yeah. So I would just say that I don't know, you kind of did a lot with me there. I'm a little confused now.
No, that was like far, far, far in the future, like weeks, years from now is when the two of us are having that drink. So
then I'd say fast backwards. Rewind to where we left off. So you've just gotten up. I've seen you pocket something, but I'm like, I guess I'll make a note of it for later. Because I'm just really super excited. So Mildred goes over and just like flings herself into your arms because the adrenaline has finally worn off. The greatest nightmare that was John Thompson is over. I'm confused at the fact that the old man that's lying dead on the ground called me Howard, but I also really don't care about my dad that much. So every past connection of my dad's gone, and I'm okay with that. And I just turn around and with me in your arms, Edward, and just yell, "Salmon!" What do you say we get out of here? And
the anger is real for a brief moment and then settles.
but then you remember I'm your favorite.
Yup.
And I just say, what do you guys say we go get a drink? And so we go back to the bar, the speakeasy that's like shut down anyways, even though I have the keys, because whoever actually really ran that place, no one's entirely sure. And we just go get a drink and laugh it off and kind of just like fade out from there. We're just kind of all happy drinking buddies, even though Sal now has my terribly written water bottle and we didn't even notice it.
God damn it.
And I'm drinking one of the, I'm the one that's grabbing the shine from the box.
I still do have alcohol in my defense, just not near as addicted as I was. It didn't drop to 0.
That's fair. All right, so we give you the water and a shine.
There you go. I water the shine is what you say.
Yes.
And then that leaves us with the man himself, Mr. Sal Salmon Kenton, our final
Good old
montage of the
Salmon
evening.
Wilson Kenton, who is obviously at this point tasked to find a working vehicle because his doesn't exist.
Luckily for you, we'll say that the.
There you go.
Luckily for you, we'll say that the there's a bevy of other cars parked in other
I
places.
assumed as such.
Yes.
So I'm stealing whatever the most, I would say the closest, which I assume all of them are in far better repair and less, I don't want to say illicit activities because they're all very illicit, but like less my kind of illicit activities, but still a truck that would haul what I would desire to haul. And just go steal that. I mean, I assume the keys are somewhere nearby, or if not in them, because let's be real here, he's a very cocky man.
They're in the visor because
That's right.
Like every TV show ever.
They're just hanging off of the tree.
Yeah.
And
that's how we get out of there. We just all hop in your new stolen truck.
My new shine truck and do that. We have the evening. We finish up the stock that is left at the bar, which is not a lot because most of it was still in the truck. Rest in peace. And I am going to go live the rest of my days in a semi-sober life, still delivering the shine that I still, though slightly more watered down and slightly less absinthe, as far away from absinthe as you can make it, because that is a road that I do not want to go down ever, and I wish that upon no man, nor vacuum.
Oh my gosh. If I should have thought of this, but what if I no longer sing at the bar, but now me and Edward just run the bar?
Oh. Can the Silver Tongue be not a speakeasy anymore, but after maybe my flash forward is after Prohibition, and maybe the Silver Tongue is like a nice swanky little cafe that serves alcohol as well after Prohibition.
I'm down.
Yeah. Also, one final thing: can the trucks still all be one-seater? So like, can the three of us just kind
of course
cram together like the way that we did on the way to the Pisco
Is there
plant?
an option?
No.
I'm still in between you guys, naturally.
Yeah.
And could we say that maybe on the year of his death, Edward Keeney takes a single shot of absinthe in honor of the gentleman that died and still stays in connection with William Henry?
Yes. Could we actually say that instead of a shot, there's a bottle of absinthe hidden under the bar at the new Silver Tongue? Just a bar.
Salmon has made one thing of absinthe in his life, and it is aptly titled the weird, funky pneumatic gun thing, the drink.
I love it. And maybe that's where we end it. Maybe it's actually the three of us coming together for one last drink of absinthe on the anniversary of one nightmarish moment in the Pisco plant, followed by a lifetime of well-deserved peace.
Oh, guys.
God damn, that's beautiful.
Rain has stopped.
And that's it. That's after the rain.
All right, guys. I know it's been a little bit of a long journey, so thank you again for joining us and listening in through our adventure in the Dustbowl. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what you see and what you heard. And if so, again, go to desksanddorks.org, click on that After the Rain tab, put in your email to subscribe, and keep an ear out for all of the emails we'll be sending out from there. As well as, of course, just keep an eye on youtube.com/desksanddorks. Keep subscribed there. Click the little ring-a-ding bell button. That way you get notified when our videos pop up so that you can hear a little bit more about After the Rain as we get closer to it. As well as if you're interested and haven't already, we do have some episodes where Kyle and I not only got to reveal and kind of talk about it, but also did a interview back and forth with him and I in one of our interview fashions, just to give you guys a bit more information about After the Rain itself. So we definitely are glad we were able to show this to you. If you like what you've heard and you enjoy Desks and Dorks and you can't wait for After the Rain, if you click on the link in the description or go to itch.io, search up Red Panda Redemption or Desks and Dorks, we have our $1 one-page role-playing game, Red Panda Redemption, based after our bracket game of the same name, where you get to play as some cowboy red pandas just trying to make a living. We'd love for you guys to support that and to give us your feedback on that game as well. So thank you again. We appreciate all of your time and attention that you have given us, and we look forward to being able to give you guys some more in the future. Have a nice day.